Hey everyone, it's Jess. So today I wanted to talk about something a little personal. I've been really excited to talk about this topic recently, which is how to have a more sustainable period.
Don't look at me, I don't have them.
I'm just waiting for you to respond to that. For most healthy women, they have a pretty normal period, and I definitely want to make sure that that area of my life is as sustainable as possible and as easy as possible, because it's definitely turned into an inconvenience in times. So I want to show you guys some options that you might not have seen before that might help you make a decision in order to move to a more sustainable choice for handling your period. So some of the most common options that people use in their period, at least in the United States, are pads and tampons. Something that you might not know about pads and tampons is that they are not regulated whatsoever. I'm not ever going to judge someone for what they use or choose not to use for their period. However, pads and tampons are something that I really try to stay away from. They tend to have a lot of chemicals in them that are hormone inhibitors, and that tends to cause a lot of issues with reproductive systems and higher chances of cancer, things like that. And I can give you some links in the description to show you more about those kinds of topics. However, I completely understand the convenience of it, right? Something that's disposable to use during your period is the most convenient thing for a lot of people, and I completely understand that. These options that I'm going to show you are pretty much just as easily dealt with as something that's disposable, like a traditional pad or tampon. I have not had any issues since I've been switching to these zero waste products, and they actually have been found to be a lot healthier than the store-bought pads and tampons that you get that are disposable, because they don't have those additional toxins and things like that in them. Sounds really gross, but that area is one of the most absorbing areas in your body. So if not for the reason to be more sustainable, even though these options definitely are more sustainable than traditional disposable period products, definitely consider making some of these switches in order to improve your periods, in order to make sure that you are lowering your risk of cancer and lowering your risk of having estrogen issues and things like that that most of these harmful toxins will lead to. Another thing that's interesting too, which I'm actually pretty disappointed about, is pads and tampons and traditional disposable period products have absolutely no regulation in the fact that they do not ever need to post on the label what is in them. They don't have to post ingredients. They don't have to post what's in them at all. There's no federal regulation on what is in pads or tampons and what's not allowed to be in them, things like that. They can definitely sneak in these preservatives and things that are really harmful for you. So without further ado, let me show you what I use. The option that I have found most easiest to use are reusable pads. So these are cloth pads, and I'll show you what they look like. So they have these wings on the side of them, just like typical pads, and they are shaped pretty much the same as pads. These are the regular ones, so they're kind of thin. So they do have really cool designs on them. This one has little birds on them, and I've got 5 of these total. It takes care of everything that I need to take care of during the month, so I never have to worry about using anything disposable or anything like that. I just have 5 of them. I will link to where I got these in the description. I got them from an Etsy seller that was selling them out of the UK, and this is what I keep them in. This is a little, I would assume it used to be like a makeup bag, I'm not entirely sure. It's a zipper pouch, and I found this at the thrift store. I just kept my eye out in the purse section for something that was washable, that I could wash in the washing machine, and then also that had a plasticky material, I guess, just a material on the inside that wouldn't get stained. This was exactly what I was looking for, so this meets my needs for now. All that I do is I put them in a laundry basket and save them for the end of the week, and then as soon as I'm done with using all 5 of them, I throw them in the wash with my towels. So I don't tend to wash them with anything that touches like my food or anything like that, just because that's a preference that I have, but I'm sure it wouldn't really be an issue. And they wash just like normal laundry, so you don't have to soak them, you don't have to pre-treat them or anything like that, you don't have to use any special soap. I just throw them in with my regular laundry and then they come out completely clean. Another reusable option that you can consider is a menstrual cup. And these, I think, have gotten actually more popular recently. This is a menstrual cup. That's what it looks like, and this is something that is completely reusable. It's made out of 100% silicone, and it's pretty easy to use, I've heard. I haven't actually used one personally, but I've heard that they're pretty easy to use and that they come with tons of instructions on how to use them and how to care for them. I would recommend a menstrual cup to someone that has a really heavy flow, because a lot of the times these are easier to handle than reusable pads when you have a really heavy flow. So that would be what I would recommend if you are looking for really serious coverage throughout the entire day. And the last option that I'm going to talk about today are period panties, which I have used actually, and they work really, really well. However, I do find them to be a tad more expensive than reusable pads, so that's why I tend to stick with reusable pads. But they have the same care routine, just like reusable pads. You just throw them in your regular laundry and don't have to use any special soap or anything like that. They'll still come out clean. They're super comfortable. In my opinion, they're more comfortable than reusable pads, so that might be something when you take into consideration what you're gonna choose. But they're really easy to care for and they're pretty affordable. And again, I will leave a link to some of my favorites down below. So even if you're a little skeptical, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to at least try it. Just try it for 1 month. See if it's something that you could keep up, see if it's something that's worth it to you, and see if you can make it an area in your life that you can really be proud of. I hope that I'm able to encourage you to try to make this area of your life something that you can be very happy about and proud of the choices that you're making in order to make sure that you stay healthy and that you are lowering your impact on the environment as well. Let me know down in the comments if you found anything interesting that I showed you, if you were introduced to something that you had never heard of before, and if you're going to consider trying one of these options. I would really love to hear from you. That's all for now. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!